Guys, the more I thought about it after I finished that last video, we're just going to go ahead and disregard number 4 for the purposes of this unit. Since I'm not there and we've covered a lot of material with these equations, let's forget about number 4 for right now. We'll get there eventually, but that's just, I think, a little more complicated than what I want to get with me not being there. So just disregard that last problem. And let's move on to number 5. All right, I've got fractions on both sides here. Want to distribute the fraction on both sides. Here I'm going to have a 4 over 2, which reduces to 2x. 1/2 times a negative 4 is going to be 4 over 2, which reduces to a minus 2. Distributing the 1/3, I get 6 over 3, which is 2x, and I get negative 6 over 3, which is a minus 2. At this point, if you notice that you have a true statement, you have exactly the same thing on the left that you have on the right, then you can go ahead and stop right here and say, hey, this is true, which means that I have a solution of all real numbers. No matter what I plug in for the variable up here, I'm going to always get a true statement. If you don't see that right away, that's fine. Just continue on with what we've been doing all along. Try to get rid of the variable on one side or the other, and what's going to happen is it's going to cancel on both sides, and again leave me with a true statement. Okay, even if you don't notice it when you get to this point, if I try to move the constant to one side, it's going to cancel and leave me with 0 is equal to 0. This is as far as you can go. But your solution here is all real numbers, which means no matter what I plug in for the variable, I'm going to always get a true statement. Alright, so 6 through 8 on the front side here are similar to number 4, so we're going to skip those and go ahead to the back of this page. Okay, this is a little bit different, the back is, than anything we've seen thus far, just in the way that the problem is being presented. My variable here is in the top of an equation, which I've seen before, but I've never seen it with an operation as well. Okay, so what I've seen in the past is something like this, where you've got just the x over 4 is equal to 12. Okay, then I can multiply by 4 on both sides and be good. Okay, well, I'm going to do the same thing here, only what I'm left with is going to be a little bit different. Okay, so I still want to undo this division like I've been doing all along by multiplying by 4 on both sides. That's going to cancel, but now instead of just being left with the variable, I'm left with an operation, x plus 16. And then on the right side, 4 times 12 is 48. Now that I've gotten rid of my division, I need to get rid of my subtraction. Okay, so subtract 16 on both sides, and 48 minus 16 is 32. So a little bit different than what we've seen, but not anything different as far as how to go about solving it. You're still multiplying to undo division, subtracting to undo addition. Number 10, very, very similar here. We're going to undo this division of 3 by multiplying by 3 on both sides. So 3 is going to cancel that division, and what I'm left with is whatever is in the numerator of your fraction. In this case, that is w minus 21. Negative times a negative is a positive, and 23 times 3 is 69. Alright, now I've got to get rid of this subtraction, in this case by adding 21. 69 plus 21 is 90. So you've got a couple more like that to do for homework, and then let's go ahead and look at the other type problem on the back of this page, which looks very similar. Let's look at 14 together here. I've still got this variable plus a number divided by a number, but for number 14, I've got this minus 12 as well. Okay, so where I started with multiplying here to get rid of the 4, and multiplied by 4 on both sides, on number 14, I want to start by getting rid of the addition. Okay, so if you have a variable inside of a fraction like this, and you have another operation, you want to get rid of this operation first. Okay, and you will see problems like 9 and 14 on your test for this unit. So just make sure that you get enough practice with these two different types where you know, in this scenario, I multiply and that's all. In this scenario, I have to subtract to get back to a problem that looks like this. Okay? So my first step here, like I said, is to undo this addition by subtracting 12 on both sides. And that's going to cancel that 12 and leave me with just the w plus 23 over 7 is equal to 17 minus 12 is 5. Okay, now compare number 9 with what we have now. Identical problems, just different numbers in a different variable, but set up the exact same way. So where I multiplied by 4 here, I'm going to multiply by 7 here. And what that's going to do is get rid of this division, leave me with w plus 23 is equal to 35. Okay, and then subtract 23 from both sides. Final answer here is 12. Let's do another one like that. Number 15, again, I have a variable inside a fraction here with an operation as well. So instead of worrying about this, I want to first get rid of this subtraction. Okay, think about what we very first said when we started solving equations. We want to isolate the variable. Okay, well, the variable in this case cannot be isolated until I first isolate this whole thing right here. Okay, so I'm still doing the same thing I've always done in regards to isolating the variable, only now I have to isolate a variable term, so to speak, as a whole. And then once I isolate this, I can go further to isolate this. Okay, but I can't isolate the x until I've isolated the x plus 2 over 3. So to do that, I need to add 10 to both sides first. That's going to leave me with x plus 2 over 3 is equal to 22. Now I've got the same type problem that I had in 9 and 10. So to get rid of your division here, you're going to multiply by 3 on both sides. That's going to cancel, and I'm left with x plus 2 is equal to 66. Excuse me. And then last step here is to just subtract 2 on both sides. Final answer, x is equal to 64. Your homework for tonight is going to be to finish the back side of this worksheet. Okay, so you've got 11 through 13, 16 through 18. But before you get started on that in class today, I want you to once I get done with this video, get a Nook and log on to Schoology. And you've got an exit slip that I want you to do. Okay? So when you go into your Schoology, you're going to click on your courses. It's going to pull down this menu. You're only going to see your course. Okay, so go to your course, and you're going to have exit slip listed as your only possible assignment to do. Okay, so you'll click on that, and you've got an equation here that I want you to solve for your exit slip. And again, with these, you're not doing the b is equal to. I've already got the b is equal to, so all I need for you to put in your blank is your answer. Okay? Get this done first, and then you can start on your homework. All right? Y'all have a great afternoon, guys.